today's topics, I think it is not investment topic because I don't know, can't think of any topics to talk about because past few days I was so passionate about doing all these Ghibli pictures. I will share some of these photos. I think it's quite fun. I think this is like a magic prompt. Things that looks very dull, once you go through this Studio Ghibli filter, it becomes a lot nicer. So we'll go through some of those pictures and then I will give some of my takeaways. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this first photo, I think some of these photos are not generated by me. Most of them are not generated by me. I just took from X. So you can look at these numbers. These memes also looks very cute. This one also turned into Ghibli. The facial expression, they are able to capture it so well, right? So I think this looks quite good. Wow, Jensen signing on the boobs. But then this one is not so clear. It's not so obvious. But the guy at the back, right, you look at his expression, I think it's like it really capture the entire mood and vibes of that environment. I think this is quite interesting. This one from the movie, that's Einstein. Yeah, I think this is also quite a nice movie. What's the name already? Talking about the inventions of the nuclear bombs. I'll put the name later. Then this is Elon. Wow, suddenly Elon turned into Studio Ghibli style. You look at the face, so cute. with that face. This one really let that sink in, right? Wow, I think this is quite interesting. Okay, this is the hand sign. I think this one can be made better. Let's say if it's a like wider shot, I think that will be even better. So maybe I think sometimes it's because of the input that you put in, right? If the input is this kind of framing, then I think the output also follow the same. But always can prompt ChatGPT to come up with like the wider shots. All these are not generated by me. And then this is Elon again doing the balancings. This is Trump. This one not so nice. I think maybe the Studio Ghibli vibes not so obvious here. But still, I think this is one of the key events for this year. This one is generated by me. This is actually Alchemy of Souls. So I watched this Korean TV series a few weeks ago. Quite a good one. And I just took their poster and then just threw into like the Studio Ghibli filter and then you see come out. Wow, so nice. I think the impressive part, right, is not just like they make it become like a cartoon. The most impressive part, right, is actually how they capture the attention. So I'm talking about the OpenAI ChatGPT 4.0 model image generation. So you pay attention, right, to the words down below. So those are Korean words. They are able to capture that words and then reproduce that words and reproduce in a style that is exactly the same as the original. I think that's the very impressive part. And on the right hand side here, you can see there's a sentence, right? I can't tell whether those are correct. Maybe there's some error in those smaller fonts. I think that's expected. But for the larger words, right, actually it is quite well made. So this 4.0 model. Then this one also generated by me. So everything Studio Ghibli always has been. So you see every memes now turn into Studio Ghibli style. This is also generated by me. So actually just to give you all some tips on how to generate all these picture, right? Actually, it's not that difficult because sometimes when we see this kind of picture in, let's say like X or any other social media, right? We wanted to generate pictures similar to this, but we don't know what's the prompt, right? You want to describe the style also sometimes can be a bit challenging because we are not familiar. So what you can do is that you can just grab the picture and then throw into ChatGPT 4.0 and then you just ask like, I want to generate something similar to this. Give me the prompts and just tell me the style without telling me what's exactly in the photo because I want to replace it with another picture. So they will give you some the prompt and then you can fine tune from there if you want. Then after that, you can just take that prompt and then take another picture and then just throw into ChatGPT 4.0 and then it will generate a very nice picture. So this is one good example. This is the one Elon jumping at the back, right? So and you can see that it really captured the vibes. Again, same photo again, but this is in Minecraft style. So I think that's quite interesting. This is also this is Model Y, Tesla Model Y. So I think it's quite interesting. It's able to capture like the features, the characteristics of the cars. The overall scenes is also captured well. I really like this photo a lot. This is generated by me. Same, this is also generated by me. So you guys know what this photo about, right? But they're able to capture even the small details like the blood on the face, right? So that's also well captured. The flag is also quite well made. So this entire scene, by the way, this photo is really fantastic of whoever photographer that captured this, really super. Now it just turned into various different style thanks to ChatGPT. So this is getting serious roaring kitties photos, right? Just from the sketch, you can just pass through a prompt, now become something so exciting. Even the imagery stuff like the one on the back also is able to capture. This is another one, but just different style. But they just repaint it again such that it looks so much nicer as compared to the original one. Okay, that's it. That's all about today's sharing. yeah, what's the takeaway, right, from all these photos here? Actually, what I wanted to express here, right, is that you can see actually image generation is not new to LLM. I mean, the image generation is already with us for maybe about 2 years, right? But before ChatGPT 4.0 come up with this new image generations, right? You can see that actually there are people who play with all this image generation and then they play a while and then they just, stop. It just die down. Why? Because the quality isn't as good. Maybe the Mid-Journey one is a lot better, but I think ChatGPT, DALL-E, the old models isn't as good, right? So people play a while and then it died down already. But now suddenly just one enhancement. This is like a enhancement in terms of the model, right? And this model is really good. I can tell, like really, really good. It's really on fire. And once the model become good, right? Suddenly everyone is like, wow, keep on Studio Ghibli their own photos, just do all sorts of things. And Studio Ghibli is just one example. Actually, you can see some of the other non-Studio Ghibli styles that people generated, right? People use it to create YouTube thumbnail, use it to create icon, all sorts of things. So I would say that in terms of all these content creations, all these artistic things, right? Instead of everything you have to rely on handmade manual works, now it is really like prompt engineering. So, and once a model become good enough, right? People will just jump into it and just keep on using it. And you can tell, like Sam Altman also said that OpenAI servers already melting, right? Because of so much demand of people using it to do inferencing. So that's why I would say when we talk about investment in Nvidia or investment into chip companies, and people say that this entire LLM or AI is a bubble, to me, whether it will turn out to be a bubble or not, it really depends on the use case. And the use case and how many people doing inferencing eventually, right, also depends on how good is the model. And here we can see that the model is not stagnant, right? They come up with something, yes, it's able to generate some image, but it doesn't stop there, right? After a while, they do further training, they do further reinforced learning, then model will just keep on stepping up, right? This is just one example in terms of the inferencing. This is just image generations. There are all tons of things they were able to do in the future, for example, like video and so on, right? In fact, there are already people doing video on this, but the quality isn't as good. But the video part will also become much better in the future. You just need to extrapolate. Once all these models become a lot better, there will be many use cases. All the existing workflow, instead of you doing all these manual things, all the artists doing, handcrafting stuff, suddenly everyone just do prompt engineering. And behind the prompt engineering is all these chips and servers that is really powering these capabilities. You can just take this as an example to just extrapolate and just imagine the future, right? It will be totally different. And it all depends on the quality of the model. Once the model advances, all the current workflow, it will be substituted by all this AI. It is a matter of how fast all this chip engineering and all these models progress. The faster they progress, the better it is. So that's why, remember about the DeepSeek event, people say that, oh, model is so good. Suddenly, like model, people don't need powerful chip anymore. I just use the old chip and then demand will drop. All this is just like people totally clueless about how these things will progress. So my expectation is that models capability will keep on improving. So far, we haven't seen it slowing down. It's really still picking up. You can see the pace of all this model progress, right? It's really mind-blowing. So that's why when I see all these things, first thing as a user, I'm quite excited to do all this engineering, all this prompt engineering myself. At the same time, I'm imagining that entire workflow will be different just because of all these things, right? So, yep, I think that's all about today's video. Just want to tell you that these AI things, just look at how fast it is. It is going to take over the world. Who is powering all this world is all the companies that we invested in. So I'm very bullish on the future. Thanks for watching.